Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mark from Solar Games, and today we're going to be taking a quick break from our Mortal Ambitions lore videos to. I have a question. Yes. It's been like a month since your last lore video. Is that really a short break? Why don't you sit your ass down, bro? Oh, okay. I got it. Thank you. All right, guys. As I was saying, we're going to take a short break from our lore video series to do something kind of similar, but I figured, the community could really use a pronunciation guide since we are going to Sanguo, and we have a lot of new characters, features, locations, spells, strategies that are actually weapons that are written in Chinese. So I figured today's video, we will go over some of these cards from the Three Kingdoms, from this set, Mortal Ambition, and then we'll kind of just do a pronunciation guide led by me, Mark, Solar Games. Let me be your guide to ensure that you pronounce every single word from the set correctly. Okay, first up, Oath of the Sakura, okay? It's not Sakura, it's Sakura, okay? Yes, the most Chinese word in existence, Sakura. Okay, next card. Jin. This one's a little bit debatable, right? Because I'm not really sure who this character is referencing. It could be Jin, it could be Jin, it could be anything. So I think Jin, honestly, totally fine. I think most characters, most players would recognize it. It's not a big deal. All right, next one. Kong Ming. So this character, the main character, effectively, is Kong Ming. Is the correct pronunciation of this character. All right, next up, we have Dong Zhuo. Dong Zhuo, of course, is the big bad evil character, the fatty of this set. He will make sure that he greeds on all your women. So there it is, Dong Zhuo. Okay, next card. This is pretty much the most sexiest man in all of Sanguo history. Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun is your pronunciation there. All right. Next, we have a weapon. This is, I don't know why I put this one. It must be because it's Exia. We're not done with all the characters. Why are the weapons out? Anyways, this weapon is really important, right? It's called Shuangji. So, basically, a ji is like a polearm in Chinese. Like the way I can describe it, they kind of look like, this shape at the top. And the reason it's called Shuangji is because there's two sides of it. So it's like a double ji. That's, if you look at the artwork, you'll see what I'm saying. If you look and imagine half of the weapon, that's a single G. Okay, next is a location. This very important location in the Sanguo history. It's called Guandu. Guandu is also the place where basically Cao Cao defeats Yuan Shao. And it's a very important battle because I think Cao Cao's army was outnumbered 4-1. Again, these historical numbers are kind of crazy. Apparently, historical texts state that Cao Cao had an army of 200,000 and Yuan Shao had 800,000. But I feel like back in those kind of days, you couldn't field armies that large. So I'm not really sure if that's accurate. But just imagine, it's like the underdog story. This is like your Chinese version of 300 where they defend some sort of pass and they win, right? So Guandu is this card. All right, another location is, this one's called Hulao Guan. Technically, Guan is a pass. So think of the battle at Thermopylae. Thermopylae was a pass, if you guys know 300. So Hulao is the location, and Guan is that it's a kind of like a gate, I guess. So that's why it's called Hulao Gate. So they translate that part of it. Hulao is the pronunciation for this location. This one is a little bit tricky, right? So this is one of those things where I don't know what the reference is, so it's hard to tell. By the way, the reason why it's really hard to tell if I don't know the reference of how to pronounce something in Chinese is because in English, there's really just one way to kind of pronounce everything. In Chinese, depending on, again, Mandarin, Cantonese, whatever, but let's just use Mandarin. There are technically 5 different sounds for every word, right? And it's depending on which tone it is, it's a different word. The best example I can give you is the word for horse in Chinese, right? So normally, if you know, whatever, horse is ma, but it's ma in the third tone, ma, right? But the problem is this word actually has technically 5 other words that are related that it could possibly be, and potentially more, right? There are a lot of homonyms in Chinese as well. So ma is mom, right? Ma, it's like you can have a numb, like imagine your arm is numb, you'll say my arm is ma, or like, oh, ma la, like, the spicy, numbing spice is ma. And then you have ma, which is like horse, and then ma, which is to like reprimand or yell at somebody. So you can imagine like you're saying the wrong tone, it could totally mean different things. And the 5th tone, we call this the silent tone, and it's usually used whenever you repeat something. Like when we say mom, right, we say mama. That second one where it has kind of like no tone, that's the 5th tone, okay? So that's why. So for something like this card, right, Yudi, gossamer jade, I think it's yu because it's jade, right? So yu in Chinese is jade. But this di, is it like, so I noticed that the character is holding a flute. So could it be that she's holding a jade flute? So yu di. Or are we saying this location is like a land? So yu di, like the land of jade. I have no clue. So without having extra context, I really couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure it's called yu something. So my guess, if I were to just have to, if I had to make a choice, I probably would say yu di, like as in it's a jade palace, jade land, jade location. Okay, now we're back to characters again. All right, this is the easy one. Guan Yu. I think a lot of you guys probably know this, but the way to pronounce it is not Gan Yu or Guan Yu. It's Guan Yu, like 3rd tone. Yu. Okay, the horse. This horse is very famous. This is Cao Cao's horse. It's Jue Ying. And it's really cool because if you think, so like it's Jue Ying Shadow Mare, right? And you notice the ability is like you have, once you unlock the whole equestrian thing, right? Or I guess the other side of equestrian, which what if you have a water unique ally, which is Cao Cao, it loses pride, it has stealth and true sight, right? The reason is because Jue Ying was known for being so fast and sneaky. This horse name literally means the absolute shadow. So that's why it gains stealth when it, has the character. So Jue Ying is the pronunciation here. All right, next one is Liu Bei. Liu Bei. This is, of course, the elder brother of the 3 brothers. So that is how you pronounce his name. And okay, good. And then we have next Liu Bei's horse, which is Di Lu. So Di Lu is the horse for Liu Bei. So it's Di Lu. So you can call it, usually in Chinese, we just call it Di Lu Ma. So Di Lu horse. Okay, so now the arch nemesis of Liu Bei is Cao Cao. Cao Cao, that's how you say his name, Cao Cao. Her name, sorry, it's gender swapped. Okay. And then, of course, we want to cover the Dongwu, the Wu side of the 3 kingdoms, the other kingdom of the 3. And their leader, of course, is Sun Quan. Sun Quan. And it's interesting that it says Sun Quan seal bearer. So it seems like maybe the Sun Quan in this world is actually the owner of the imperial seal currently. But Sun Quan is how you say this word. Another quick tip, right? We can take a pause on this. Sun Quan is a great example of this. Whenever you see the Q character in like Pinyin Chinese, think of it more like let's see, K, Quan. What's the best way to say it? Like CH, yeah. So that whenever you see Q, think more like CH or T even. That's the sound you're trying to pronounce. It's not Quan. So you don't say Sun Quan, you say Sun Quan. Okay. The last of the 3 brothers is Zhang Fei. So Zhang Fei, and funny thing here, Zhang is the surname of my mom actually. So there you go. Zhang Fei is the rambunctious one of the 3 brothers. Okay, and next one is going to be Xia Hou Dun. I really like this character. It's one of my favorite characters from all of Sanguo, and because it doesn't have it here, but if you look at the CSR version of this card, Xia Hou Dun, the flavor text is so good. It's so badass, right? It's talking about the eye. Essentially, the reason why Xia Hou Dun has an eye patch is because there was an arrow that was shot at Xia Hou Dun, and it took out his eye. And he, on the spot, ate the eye and continued going because he said something like, hey, no part of my body will be spilled out or something like that. It's kind of insane. This guy's crazy. All right, on to Sun Quan's side again, Xiao Qiao. So Xiaoqiao is how you pronounce this name. Another pause here. So remember our first pro tip, Q is like a C. So if you think qiao like a TC sound, that's how you do the QIAO, qiao. And then xiao, X, right? X in Chinese, in pinyin style, think of it more like S. So xiao is what you're saying here, or like maybe like SH type of thing. Okay, on to some spell cards. I figured these are going to be kind of useful just in case anybody plays these cards, whatnot. But the Tsunami of Nanyue, in fact, there's a couple of Nanyue cards, right? And Nanyue is talking about a specific location in China. It's basically in the south, so the way you pronounce this is Nanyue. Next one, right? So Bagua. So I think a lot of people probably know what this is. It's the what they call like the eight trigrams or something. Basically, it's the image that's literally on this card, the Bagua of Cardinal Fate. That thing that's behind Kunming is the Bagua. Okay, so it has like 8 directions, and it's like it's part of a concept called I Ching. It's like for fortune telling. The details of this stuff I actually don't really know. All I know is as a kid, my dad was like super into it. So, it's like a Taoist thing too. So, all right. Speaking of Taoism, we are on Taiji. So this is the Taiji of crystal stratagems. Basically, Taiji, the word ji means kind of like limit or level, I guess. And Tai means like super level. So in this case, it's like the supreme level or the ultimate level, or no limits, supreme limits, ultimate limits, right? Limitless, effectively, is Taiji, right? And that's the whole concept of Taiji. And it's the same word as Taiji Quan. So like if you know in like Tai Chi, that's what this is, right? It's like just a different way to pronounce it. But Taiji is the that form of martial arts. Is it martial arts, more meditation or martial arts, that kind of thing? And this card, similar, Wu Ji. This means no limit, right? So Ji again is like the like level or like limit. So Wu means none or doesn't exist, right? Ji, right? So in I think in Japanese, like think of it like Mu, right? Mu is the same character as Wu in Chinese. Okay. Ruinous Pillar of this one's tricky too, right? Because again, without knowing exactly where this is, I don't know. It could be Qidao, like 7 islands. It could be like, I don't know, Qidao, like, I don't know. So Qi, of course, is the word Dao. So I'm not really sure about this, but of course, I think if you say like Qidao, it's probably fine. If you guys know what this is or what this is referencing, please let me know, and I would love to kind of like make an update on this in the future or correct myself. So I actually know what this is, but I actually don't know what it is. And the last card, of course, very important, is going to be Dungeon Guy. Okay, I know it says Dungeon Guide, but that's actually not how you pronounce it in Chinese. So obviously from this picture, it's going to be Dungeon Guy. Okay, all right, thank you. So just making sure everyone knows and how this works. Okay, but that's going to be it. I hope this is helpful and informative and informational. Hoping for you to play a very, very Chinese-inspired and Chinese well-pronounced game of Grand Archive in Mortal Ambition. I'll see you in the battlefield. Stay classy.